morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of Syracuse on this crisp, sunny day. We welcome you all. We thank you for being here. It wouldn't be the same without you here, so if you would be kind enough to rise and join with us this morning. Today is all about finding and knowing the God within you. So if you need a little helping hand with that today, we're here to do it for you. Think of your fellow man, lend him a helping hand, put a little love in your heart. Yeah. You see it's getting late, oh please don't hesitate, put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait. Oh, just wait and see. Another day goes by, and still the children cry. Put a little love in your heart. You want the world to know we won't let hatred grow. Put a little love in your heart, and the world, what will it be? Will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Take a good look around, and if you're looking down, put a little love in your heart. Yeah. I hope when you decide kindness will be your guide, put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Put a little love in your heart, yeah. Put a little love in your heart. I know you got it. Put a little love in your heart. Oh, put a little love in your heart.
Good morning. Let's put a little love in our heart. In fact, you know what? Let's put a lot of love in our heart. Thank you so much to our awesome celebration team who gives us so much love. Anyway, welcome to Unity of Syracuse. We're so glad to have you here this morning, and we want to welcome all of you out in Cyberland who are live streaming, or as Reverend Edith likes to say, love streaming our service. My name is Patsy Scala, and I'm your platform assistant for today. Let's open with a reading of the daily word. Home blessing. I am at home wherever I am. Poet Robert Frost wrote, "Home is the place where, when you have to go there, they have to take you in. Only the indwelling presence of Spirit offers me that dimension of comfort and security." The importance of home is a constant throughout the ministry of Jesus. Followers who had been healed in his presence were often advised to return to their homes, so the healing could extend into their human challenges. In the consciousness of my spiritual home, I extend warm acceptance and a sense of homecoming to everyone with whom I interact, no matter where in the world we may be. I appreciate the blessings in my life and the opportunities to bless others. I am at home wherever I am. And from Mark, chapter 5, verse 19, go home to your friends and tell them how much the Lord has done for you. So I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about not only the fact that we have physical homes where our families live, but we also have our church family here, so this is our home.
Amen.
And Syracuse is our home. This community is our home. And this world is our home. And I was trying to both expand this and, as it were, bring it home into my heart. And I thought of our prayer for protection and sort of aligned it with the statement here. So I invite you to close your eyes. We're going to do just a small meditation from the prayer for protection. Wherever I go, God is, and all is well. And from our daily word, I am at home wherever I am. We are at home whenever we are aligned with that oneness within us that is divine spirit. No matter where we are, no matter how far away from our physical home we may be, we are at home whenever we are dwelling in that I am. For I am is the home that lives within us. And yes, we live in other homes, and we live in this church home. But the cosmos and spirit and divine love lives within us whenever we are home within that I am. And so I invite you to think of these words during the week. You can open your eyes. Some of you had closed your eyes. And just realize that wherever you are, you're home. You're home. No matter what it feels like, no matter how you don't know a lot of people, or you are home, provided you can go to that I am within you. So carry that thought through the week. Hey, carry that thought through your life.
Amen.
So now is the time for our children to go to their YFM, Youth and Family Ministry program. So children, if you'd meet your teachers back in the back, and we will sing you a blessing.
We love you, we bless you, we truly, truly appreciate you. We behold the gods in you.
And now I invite you to stand, if you're able, and join me in our statement of being, which is on the screen. God is all, both visible and invisible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am an individualized expression of God. I am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. Now, let us greet each other with a handshake, a hug, or the sacred gesture known in all faiths. And for those of you at home, greet another in love. And if there's no one around whom you can greet and give love to, then look in the mirror and say to yourself, I am love.
Well, you never thought this day would come,
But you can't look back, what's done, it's done.
it's just so hard to lose and then go on. When all you have is not enough,
It's hard to fall and get back up.
when you can't breathe and your heart has lost its song. But there
Is hope, my friend, you will sing again.
yes, there
Is hope, my friend, you will sing again.
when there are no words to speak,
God hears when the waters run deep
and it feels like all your faith has disappeared.
God hears.
Yes, God hears.
God hears. God hears. God hears.
Well, you never thought this day would come, but you can't look back. What's done is done. It's just so hard to lose and then go on. When all you have is not enough, it's hard to fall and get back up. When you can't breathe and your heart has lost its song. But there is hope, oh yes there is.
Friend,
You will sing again. Yes, there is hope, my friend. You will sing again. When there are no words to speak, God hears. When the waters run deep and it feels like all your faith has disappeared. God hears, God hears, God hears. Sing that with us. God hears, God hears, God hears, God hears, God hears, God. Oh, God hears today. God is inside of you and inside of me. And we know that we are the great I am. And when your waters run deep today, and if your faith is feeling like it's disappeared, God hears, God hears, God hears, God hears.
Thank you so much for that absolutely gorgeous music. I am reminded of the statement of a 13th century mystic, Meister Eckhart, who said, "The eye with which I see God is the same eye with which God sees me." And I'm reminded of the fact that also the ear with which we hear God is the same ear with which God hears us. So God does indeed hear as us and through us. Anyway, I invite you to check your bulletins for announcements. I want to highlight a few. The community outreach team has asked for people to contribute to 2 families' Thanksgiving dinners, and there are sign-up sheets for specific food items or general cash gift items, gift cards to Wegmans, whatever. In the fellowship hall today, bring your donations into church next Sunday, November 19th. Now, the bulletin board, the big poster board that's downstairs is for this, not for Thanksgiving sign-up. The Thanksgiving sign-up is another sheet, so we're having a lot of things going on. For example, on Saturday, we have our Thanksgiving dinner, and we have our silent auction, the beginning of our silent auction. We have more than 50 items and gift certificates, value of almost $7,000. For the silent auction, November 18th from 12:30 to 4:30, and November 19th from 2:30 to 2 p.m., 12:30 to 2 p.m. Please see Nancy Hazard, who actually is not here today, or Sally Dulces Bloom, who is here creating this glorious music for us. Thanksgiving potluck is going to follow the silent auction on Saturday. So there's another sign-up sheet for what you might like to bring to the Thanksgiving potluck dinner, which will be fun. It is our home away from home, our home for giving thanks for all that we have and all that we are. One more thing I want to highlight is Reverend Edith's class, the creative process in the Bible. Now, we have a lot of stuff going on right now, and I know I often feel frazzled by everything that's going on in this holiday season. But I do invite you to consider what taking this class really means. What is the creative process in the Bible, and where does it show up, and how does it relate to my life at all? Well, this class is using the first 2 chapters of Genesis, where God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. Okay, so how does that refer to me? What if I said, "Let there be peace," and all around me there's peace? Because that happens. All we need to do is declare it in our minds, hearts, and souls. And it will happen in one way or another. And Reverend Edith's class is going to guide you through this. It's at 7 o'clock from 7 to 9 on Wednesday evenings, from 11 to 1 on Thursdays. Okay? So I just invite you to consider that. Anyway, at this point, I would like to warmly welcome today's guests. Is there anyone here who is here for the second or third time, or maybe somebody who hasn't been here for a while and has come back home? We welcome you again, third in a row.
Donna B. came to visit me with her daughter-in-law for the afternoon, and I really feel like I have friends now. Thank you. It's tough being the new girl in.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's what unity's for, to stay in touch with your family. Yes. That's why I've been to 53 different units.
Yeah. Well, we welcome you to this church home.
Thank you.
Okay, and how about anybody visiting for the first time, brand new here? Nobody? Well, you know what? We have a gift for you down in the bookstore, another gift. So all you have to do is go down there and you'll get something. So, okay. Let's move on to our 5 basic unity principles. These are the principles by which and through which we live. You can see them up on the screen. I would invite any 2 of you to share the way one or more of these principles have shown up in your life this week. Anyone like to share? Okay, Anne.
I'm not sure how this is going to come. Hello? I guess all of the principles, but we are an individualized expression of God, and we practice that with one another. I don't think Al would mind me saying this. Being with him yesterday, when we were together talking and sharing and loving, he had a little tear, and he said, "I didn't know how loved I am." People's love is so much. I'd never realized how much love we are to one another. And as he said that, I thought to myself, it is a giving and a receiving, because we are all giving him so much love and so much healing and so much prayer, and we are receiving in return his voice, his smile, his healing, his history of right now being in a process of a lesson for all of us. So I just give thanks that we are individualized expressions. And I give thanks that we can practice with one another, because all the practice means is we are sharing and receiving love, God's love. Home in the hospital, home here in this sanctuary, home is our heart. It is so.
Thank you so much, Ann. Powerful, powerful. Anyone else? All right, well, I want to just, Loretta, can you wait for EJ to bring you the microphone, please?
It's just good to be back again. I've been off all summer since April, and I finally arranged to have a ride come now, and so maybe I'll be coming often now, and it's good to be back home. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're so glad to see you. Yes, we are. Now is the prayer portion of the service. Will the prayer chaplains who are serving today please stand up so we can identify? We have Christina, we have Ann, we have, who else? We have another one. Natalie. Okay. Who? Natalie. Oh, Natalie, who's now downstairs with the children. Every Sunday we have a silent time of meditation from 10:30 to 10:45. It's a time to get your spirit and your heart ready for the service. Then from 10:45 to 10:55, the prayer chaplains are up here and one is downstairs to pray with you. And we're here after the service as well. So at this time, we would like to bless all prayer intentions and requests. If you could begin to bring the prayer box forward. Unity was founded on prayer. At Silent Unity, prayer has been continuous for over 125 years. If you haven't yet placed your written prayer request into the prayer box, you can do so at the end of the service, or you know what, you can just put a prayer intention mentally into that prayer box, and it's there. Anyway, we hold these prayer requests and intentions for 30 days in absolute confidence without looking at them, because we know that everything that is prayed for in the moment it is spoken or written, rather than in the moment it's actually spoken over, okay? So we don't have to look at them, because we know that the intentions of your heart and soul are there. Then we send them on to Silent Unity, where they're prayed over for another 31 days. So
loving and gracious God, Spirit of healing, Spirit of imagination, Spirit of power, we know that every intention within this box and within our hearts are already heard, already listened to, and already known and fulfilled. We affirm it, we know it. It is so. Amen.
now we're at the meditative portion of our service. So I invite you, if you're comfortable, find a gentle way to sit and Close your eyes, unless you're not comfortable doing that, in which case I invite you to find a spot in the room. For there is no spot where God is not. And allow your awareness to go to that one spot. And I invite you, once again, as you take in breaths and out breaths, breathing in spirit, exhaling spirit, I invite you to consider the words, I am. I am is the name of God. I am is your name. I am at home wherever I am. I am. I am the breath that moves through me. I am the stars and the moon, the cosmos. I am the divinity that flows through all things. I am the earth in all its seasons, in all its beauty. I am. Take another deep breath and allow your body to move to absolute stillness. The psalmist told us, be still. Be still and know. Be still and know that I am God. When we are still enough, when we are aligned with our truth, we know the great I am that is always everywhere, and the I am that is within each of us, uniting us as one. I am. I am at home wherever I am within that beingness that lives within me as me. Allow your breath to still your body even more. Be still and know that I am God. I invite you to carry these words, I am, into the silence of your own divinity, of your own heart. Breathe these words with each in-breath. Think I. With each exhalation, think am. As you move yourself into silent stillness. Be still and know. Know that the ear with which we hear God is the same ear with which God hears us. The I am that fills us is the I am God that unites us all. And so as we begin to sense our presence in this sanctuary again, our presence in this, our home, our presence on the earth and in the cosmos, we know that whenever we go to that silent stillness, we will know our deepest truth. Our deepest truth is, I am. And so it is. And so every day, no matter what, no matter where, we allow it to be. Amen.
Cause your mama says to visit grandpa every chance that you can. Won't be wasted time. Always stay humble and kind. Hold the door, say please, say thank you. Don't steal, don't cheat, and don't lie. I know you've got mountains to climb, but always stay humble and kind. When the dreams you're dreaming come to you, when the work you put in is realized, let yourself feel the pride, but always stay humble and kind. Don't expect a free ride from no one. Don't hold a grudge or a chip, and here's why. Bitterness keeps you from flying. Always stay humble and kind. Know the difference from being with someone and being with someone you love. Love ain't no pickup lines. Always be humble and kind. If you know it, sing it. Hold the door, say please, say thank you. Don't steal and don't cheat and don't lie. I know you've got mountains to climb, but always stay humble and kind. When the dreams you're dreaming come to you, when the work you put in is realized, let yourself feel the pride, but always stay humble and kind. roll the windows down. Let that summer sun shine. Always stay humble and kind. Don't take for granted the love this life gives you. When you get where you're going, don't forget, turn back around and help the next one in line. Always stay humble and kind.
Thank you, Leland. That was beautiful. Thank you for that song. Something different. And that was perfect. Hello, everyone, again, and welcome to Unity of Syracuse. My name is Jill Partridge. I am so grateful for the privilege of having this opportunity to speak here again. And I was thinking about how much it helps me when you share with me stories about how Spirit works in your life. And I thought today I would speak about my own spiritual experience, my spiritual awakening, I call it. And I love the term spiritual awakening because, as I know, Spirit has always been with me. I know that now. I did not know that my whole life. And so I really had to be awakened to that fact. And I'm so grateful that I was. I had always dealt with depression and anxiety from a very young age, and as a young adult. I really lacked confidence. I felt less than other people, and I was always looking for a solution to that. And the solution I always thought was something outside of myself. If I could just find, the right place to live, or, anything, the right person to be with, the right handbag. I don't know. It was always something outside of myself that was going to fix everything and make it better. And some of those things were self-destructive, and some of them were not self-destructive. They were achievements. I thought when I graduated with a bachelor's degree, when my son was still small, I went through school and got a bachelor's degree, and I thought that would make me feel worthy and equal to other people, but it didn't. And that was a really scary time for me, and everybody would be telling me how great I was and how strong I was and what a great mother I was and how smart I was, and I did not feel it. I felt like I was a fraud, and if they knew the real me, they wouldn't be saying these things. And so I still had that emptiness. And finally, after spending those years feeling that way and being so miserable, I started to look for help and looking for a way to confront these feelings. And I realized that what I had to change was not anything outside of myself. It was my perspective that I had to change. Not just my perspective of the world, but mostly my perspective about myself. And this really helped me. I gained a lot of confidence with the work that I did with professionals, with the support of friends and family, and a lot of my life changed. I did become more confident. I started to just have a sense of more freedom and happiness. I was able to be a better mother, a great mother. I was able to go to law school. I started a career, but there was still that something missing. Even though my life had gotten so much better, even though I was feeling so much better, I didn't have that peace and serenity that I saw in people who had a spiritual life and had a spiritual connection to something bigger than themselves. And I really got to the point where I wanted that for myself. I knew that was the only way to really fill that emptiness that I felt inside. And I followed suggestions that people gave me. I would read books. I tried different prayers, and none of it seemed to make any difference. And I got pretty resentful about it. Like, why does everybody else get to have this and I don't? But I was, like I said, my life had gotten better, and I was able to better deal with challenges. My son, the worst and scariest one was when my son became very ill and he had to have major surgery, and there was a very long recovery period. And because of all the work I had done on myself, I was able to stay strong and to be there for him. And he recovered fully. It was a long recovery process, but he was doing great. And it was where I was growing stronger through these things, but I was still really willfully enduring them. I was enduring life's challenges. It's not like we talk about here, like when we get to grow through them. I still just had a sense like I had to grit my teeth through everything that happened. And then finally, what I thought was the worst thing ever happened, and that was that I became seriously ill. And it got to the point where I had to be in the hospital. And this was what I thought was the breaking point, the worst experience ever. It was not fair. I was so filled with self-pity and anger and resentment. Look at everything I've had to deal with in my life. I've had to overcome so much, more than anybody else. And there's just so much poor me, and that's where, my lack of spirituality just really, I can see where, that having a spiritual life would have really helped me. But I didn't at that point. And I was so fortunate, though, that the nursing staff there was so loving and kind. And there was one woman in particular who I had known prior to when I had been in the hospital, and she had all those attributes that I saw that I wanted, that peacefulness, that, just that serenity that I wanted so badly. And she was so kind and loving, and she just took a few minutes with me, and she said, well, why don't you go just lay down on your bed and take some deep breaths and just repeat the phrase, be still and know that I am God. And then repeat it again, but remove the last word of the phrase. And so it would be still and know that I am. And then eventually it would be still and then simply be. So I followed her directions for some reason, even though I was feeling pretty obstinate prior to that. But just when she said this, I just didn't even question it. I went and laid down and I did this exercise, and I did it several times, and it was amazing. It was the first time in my life that I experienced absolute, true peace, just a sense of peace and faith and connection to something bigger. And this was just the turning point of my life. There's like a clear demarcation from before this moment and after. I knew everything was going to be okay, no matter what. I knew I could get through anything. And I'm really grateful, I like to note that she did not tell me what this meant to her. She did not tell me it was a Bible verse. Today I know that this is from Psalm 46, verse 10, be still and know that I am God. I'm glad that she didn't tell me that at the moment, because I think it might have really closed my mind, and it would not have allowed me to have this experience, just because of my past searching and not finding, and just preconceived notions I had about religion. So when I left the hospital, I had started to see things differently. And of course, Unity came into my life shortly thereafter, and it was a perfect fit. I mean, it's the first service I came to here just resonated with me. I mean, I just felt at home for the first time in a spiritual center. I just felt like I really belonged here. And what you were saying made sense. And I felt so much love here. And what first sunk in was the idea of I am an individualized expression of God, because that summed up exactly what I felt in the hospital that day. And I know that sometimes, we say these phrases every week, and when I say things that just become rote, it's like I forget what the full meaning of it is. And I forget that I am an individualized expression of God. I forget that a lot. And that's why I need you guys, I need my readings, I need the daily word, I need a lot of help to remember that. And I really like the idea that, I like the way Eric Butterworth talks about this. And he talks about how what could be the most colossal wonder of all time was that people have searched the heavens and earth, while the great secret of existence has always lied within ourselves. And he explains that God is not in you like a raisin in a roll, but like the ocean is in a wave. The wave is nothing more nor less than the ocean formed into the shape of a wave. You are nothing more nor less than God expressing as you. So to me, what he's saying is all the qualities that we know God has are qualities that we ourselves possess too at all times, since we're expressions of God. So health, joy, love, peace, those are all things that are within me all the time. I don't have to go anywhere to find those things. And he says, whatever our problems or challenges, there is always more in us. The Christ in us is our hope of glory, which means that our potential for healing, overcoming, prospering, and succeeding is limitless. And that also makes me think of how happiness is not caused by outside circumstances, like I always thought that it was. It's not about moving to a certain place. It's not about being in a certain place, or it's not even in achievements. I don't have to prove myself worthy. And this was proved to me 100% when I was in the hospital. If I could find peace and a connection to God, and during the worst experience of my life ever, if I could find God in that moment, then clearly it's not the circumstances that decide my connection and with God or my faith. And the daily word from earlier this year puts this really well. It says, I am the author of my story. No matter what happens, I choose the meaning I give to events in my life. I see myself through divine perception as a spiritual victor, an overcomer, and not as a victim of life's circumstances. And there's so much freedom in that, of not being a victim. No part of my story limits the adventures of this day. There are no mistakes or wounds of the past that keep me from living fully now. And I never believed that I would have gratitude for the things that had happened in my life and what I went through from a young age. But I do now, because I realize that I would not be where I am. I would not be the person that I am today if I had not gone through that. And I'm still growing spiritually. And I would not have been growing if I had been stuck in that negativity that I had lived in through my whole life. So, sometimes what seem like the worst circumstances turn out to be amazing blessings. And I guess I would say more than sometimes. Eric Butterworth has another good quote about this where he says, "It's interesting and revealing that those who have taken the hardest blows have been the greatest people. Their handicaps have only spurred them on to greater efforts. We do not succeed in spite of our limitations, but because of them." So this is such a great reminder for all of us that we can choose this to be true for whatever situation we're facing. And as we grow through our through these experiences and challenges, our consciousness and our connection to spirit deepens. And the more we have to offer to others, and the more that we get to be a demonstration of God working in the world. The final point I want to make is about my friend in the hospital, the nurse. And I think this perfectly illustrates that the importance of living these principles. This 5-minute conversation that this woman had with me transformed my life. God worked through her in a 5-minute conversation. And when I told her about this later on and how much it had affected me, she had no recollection of the conversation whatsoever. And that just blows my mind because it was so huge for me. I just think it's such a good reminder for all of us that it's not always a grand gesture, that it takes to change somebody else's life. If we're just willing to be there and to be loving and kind when someone needs us, that's all that it takes. And we have no idea the effect that we can have on other people. So my affirmation for today is consistent with what I've been talking about, which is be still and know that I am God. And I was thinking that we could take a deep breath and repeat these words together. Be still and know that I am God. And let's take another deep breath and let the words wash over us. And repeat them. Be still and know that I am God. So I hope that these words and this affirmation inspires you as you leave today to be loving and kind to yourself and to those that you encounter, and that you have a wonderful week. And thank you for letting me speak.
Now time for our tithes and offerings, and I'm wondering if I need a microphone again. I don't know.
I can hear you.
Okay, all right, if people can hear me, it's okay. So, let us take our tithes and offerings in our hands and say our blessing, which is divine love as me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. You are my source. so let's rub our hands together and get that warmth going, that warmth that is the divine in us. Let's get it flowing so we can bless these awesome, awesome tithes and offerings. Infinite Spirit of love, we affirm that we are your expressions on this earth. And we affirm that these gifts are your good works on this earth. For every gift and offering in this basket is an expression of the love that comes from Spirit within us. We are so deeply grateful for these blessings, these gifts. And we affirm that these gifts will go forward to help others to know that if they are still, they will know the I am. And so it is. And so we don't force it. We simply allow it to be as us, through us. Amen. Time to welcome our children. So we had an awesome lesson upstairs. What did you all do downstairs?
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
I want to introduce. Patsy, can I use that? I want to introduce everybody. So when I hand you the microphone, say it very quietly into the microphone, okay? But be proud of who you are, okay?
Curtis, Evelyn, James, Tavion,
Thomas.
Mary Beth.
So I'm going to have, Tavian, will you read this for me?
I believe in the infinite possibilities in my life.
Thank you. Okay. And Curtis, can you read this for everybody?
I enter this day feeling happy, loving, and alive.
And Evelyn?
I am God's perfect child.
I got a quick announcement. If anybody is interested in volunteering, doing some community service, I've set it up with the Samaritan Center to help with afternoon meal the day after Thanksgiving on the 24th. It volunteers from about 12:45 till 3:15, and we would meet at church at 12:15. And if anybody's interested, I have a couple kids coming with me and a couple adults that already have seen me. But if you're interested, please, the more the merrier. And thank you for your loving support always. And wait, Tavian, you wanted to say something? Okay.
Today we went floating in the universe.
Thank you, guys.
All right, it's time for our children's blessing.
We bless our children wherever they are. We see them surrounded by love and light throughout the week.
We have a thriving and expanded youth and family ministry. And now, our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And our peace song.